Hello, and welcome to the CatCast. Here, as always, is your host, Cat Kennison, to bring you another podcast. Got Kitty over here hanging out with me, and excited to bring you another podcast today. It is the start of the new year, of the new week at least. Back after the holidays, and time to get this show on the road, right? We're going again. And I was thinking all day, what am I going to podcast about? What am I going to podcast about? And of course, what else is there to talk about except the top story of the day, Maduro being out of Venezuela? Okay, apparently we kidnapped this guy. I guess we did kidnap him. I mean, we abducted him, I guess, whatever. But we had a bounty on this person, so we wanted someone to do this. So this is a very interesting topic. I know a lot of people have trouble with politics and stuff, but how can we not discuss this when this is like the major story of the entire world? So we want to cover this, of course. Cat has all kinds of stuff to say about it. He's been thinking about it all day long. He's been listening to people. Everybody's pontificating away. And Cat's like, I got to do my pontificating. I have to put mine out there too. Okay? So this is very plain and simple to put it. Everybody that is now complaining about this is Monday morning quarterbacking. They basically knew this was going to happen, but they want to complain about it now because Trump did it. Again, this is because Trump did it, all right? We're just going to get down to the points, okay? There's a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head when Biden was in office, okay? They wanted him too. They just weren't willing to do anything, okay? We upped it to $50 million. Still, nobody was willing to do anything. So we did it ourselves and took care of the problem. And now everybody's upset. But nobody was complaining when we had a bounty out there. Nobody's like, hey, you shouldn't be putting a bounty on that guy. Yeah, he's a legally elected president. Even though he did lose his election, everybody knows that. And he stayed in power anyways. But everyone wants to argue over that. Let them figure that out. They would love that here too. Just start arguments about stuff like that. We're not going to do that. We're going to stick to the facts. That's what Cat does here. That's what we like to do. All right? So everybody that wants to complain about what we do, we're just abducting people, we're going to stop that right now because we're not, okay? We took out a drug guy, all right? Now everybody's like, oh, it's about the oil, it's about the oil. No, we're going to use the oil, but it was about the drugs, okay? And it's about our hemisphere, and it's about maintaining supremacy over the world, okay? Whether you want to admit it or not. No other country has to worry about this unless they have to do with doing drugs. Now, China has something to worry about because they are the ones providing the precursors, all right? And apparently they had a big meeting there right before we did this. China people, okay? So China, I would worry if I was China, because we're getting real tired of this crap now. And so we're not wusses anymore. See, that's the problem. Now, nobody likes that we're wussies now. They all want to say, "Oh, you're not respected." We are respected now. That's what you don't understand. You don't like the fact that we are respected. I talk with people all over different countries, and most of them are upset now because we're no pushover. We're not taking no crap anymore, and that's why they're upset. Stammer doesn't have his power anymore that he liked to have before. He looks like, and nobody likes him in his own country. At least people here like Trump. Now, sure, there's a percentage of people that don't like him, the idiots that don't know what they're talking about or what good we're doing. But I don't care about those people. Really, over in Europe, I don't think there's many people that like Stammer at all. I haven't really heard one person that I've talked to like Stammer. Pretty amazing. Over here, lots of people like Trump, okay? Now, sure, you got the people that don't like him, but you got people that love him as well, like me, okay? Now, I will not defend him when he does something wrong, but I knew this was going to happen. I was taking bets. I'm like, when are we going to go and get Maduro? I'm like, it's going to happen. And everybody that acts like they didn't know about it is an idiot. Because we're like, why would we put this whole fleet there just to do that? That would have been like Bush, moving everything over to Iraq and then afterwards just coming back and doing nothing. Everybody knew when we put our fleet there, we're going to do something. Okay? So all you idiots that think we weren't going to do anything, you're dumb! You're an idiot! Kabacha! What can I say? Okay? I know more about this stuff than anybody, and I'll take you on anytime you want to bring something on with me. But why would Biden have had a bounty on somebody if they thought that you should not do that? Why would you have a bounty on somebody? Now, I watch The Five a lot. Emily Compagno is a very smart lawyer. She's one of their analysts. And she says what we're doing is completely legal, and I believe her. And they're taking it in the Southern District of New York because this is where you take these high-profile cases. And it doesn't matter when stuff happens outside of our country. If it affects inside our country, we got the right to press the law against you. I don't know if people understand, but this is the law, okay? This is coming from a lawyer that knows the law, okay? And I listen very specifically to her. She's very smart. Probably one of the most intelligent people they have on their show because she is a lawyer. Okay? And she chooses, instead of practicing her lawyer, to bring her expertise to this talk show, which she is very good at. And she tells these things because she knows what's going down. This person will have a fair trial. It's not going to be some kind of sham, okay? But there's no way that grand jury would have voted to indict if the evidence was not there, okay? So, I get fed up with people that get all upset when they don't know what they're talking about. Because I can tell you, or you can go look up the information for yourself, but to come on my CB radio and start going off like you know what you're talking about when you don't is another thing. There was a guy that was very wise and said, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know basically what about it. That's what you should do if you don't know. Invest, find out, but don't talk to cat like you do know if you don't know because it's going to get handed to you, Now, I love everybody on the app, and I love talking politics, and I try not to get worked up over it because I know what I'm talking about. And usually if everyone just dialogues without a problem, there is no problem, It's when people start to get irate about their ideas and start to put feelings behind it instead of fact and logic and reasoning that it becomes an issue. It basically comes down to that, When people can't make an argument, then it comes to feeling. I don't like them because of this. Well, that's just a feeling then. You're not actually practicing what matters. You just don't like the person, And there's lots of people I don't like, but maybe they're good at their job, and so that you let them do their job. You know what I'm saying? All right? So to not like somebody and think, oh, they're off they might be good at their job, but no, you don't look at that. You guys just want to attack other stuff, Maduro is a bad dude. Okay? He's been a bad dude for years, okay? When there was an election, he lost, okay? The lady now that they swore in is actually the lady that won. Okay, the vice president is the lady that won. All right? So, I don't even know what the argument is anymore. The one person, the Chavez lady, whoever, apparently they're not going to rally around her. So putting her in power does not make sense. That would be like us putting in a puppet dictator, a puppet person that we like. We're not going to do that either. It's got to be someone the Venezuelans want, but we're going to run it for a while because whenever we turn things over right away, it just gets screwed up and it's like a worthless process. So why would we do that? Why would we need to do something like that? We don't need to do that. We need to do it right now instead of having it get screwed up. For 20 years, we've been doing stupid stuff but with our politicians, wasting our money across the other side of the hemisphere instead of worrying about it right here at home where we should. And everything they did over there just falls apart because those people don't appreciate it. I think the Venezuelan people actually might appreciate what we're doing, I think they might be happy that we finally freed them from the tyranny they were under. But everybody else, you just talk about what you want, Make up your stories, complain about Donald Trump, he's this, he's that, when you really don't have anything except you don't like the man. That's what I got to deal with all day on the CB. People from other countries just dissing it because you don't like the person. Oh, he'll break into Britain now. I tell you one thing, if he tries to attack us in here in Britain, we will not let it happen. Why would we attack Britain? Are you guys sending drugs over here that I'm unaware of? Are you guys trying to kill off our population? Why would we attack you? You guys are actually under invasion right now. You guys are under invasion and you don't even realize it. Because they're not coming over on military ships, they're coming on little skiffs. But your people are letting them absorb right into your country. And they don't want to absorb into your country. They want to change your country to the way their country is, even though their country sucks, and that's why they're coming here. They don't like it, but they want to have all the control and stuff, and they want to they want to treat women like they treat them back in their country. They want to take away the Western values that we appreciate. They want to dominate it, and they're doing it through immigration instead of through war instead of invasion. They do it through immigration. Okay? Doesn't mean you're not being taken over. It's just being done underneath your noses. And you actually know about it. You just don't do anything about it because your leaders are fleckless. Okay? They're feckless. They can't do anything. You got leaders that suck. And you guys want to complain about my country when actually we got a good leader that's doing a good thing. When you need to really worry about your country, what your country's doing. We're finally getting the illegals out. I heard today that Hilton canceled immigration officers' hotel stays. I don't know if you can start doing this kind of stuff, but if they start picking and choosing jobs and your career means you can't get a hotel stay, this could really be backfiring on people. Like I said, I wouldn't stay at a Hilton anymore. I would be like, boycott Hiltons, everybody. Boycott any hotel that tries to do this kind of crap. Because there's a lot bigger voting block here than they think they're messing with. If you keep messing with immigration people, we just won't visit your establishments too. All right? The whole right side will be like, well, we're done with you then. Hilton, go ahead and rotten heck. That's all I'm going to say. Paris, goodbye to hot, okay? I will no longer say hot. If you guys, Paris, you better get through to your parents and tell them knock this crap off. Because all I can say is I'm not going to have it. I will stop staying at Hilton's. I will go to freaking Red Roof Inn. I don't care. But I ain't going to give them my money anymore. Everyone should stop using it. Boycott the crap out of them because it's ridiculous now. They're doing a law-abiding job, and you don't want to let them use your places because of that? This is going to be a big issue. I'm going to tell you right now, if they start doing this kind of stuff, like I said, because then anybody pick and choose, They can start saying, well, I don't want these people here. I don't want those people there. If you can pick by a job, you can start doing it by anything. Like I said, this is going to blow up in their faces. That's all I know. Get ready for an explosion, Hilton. This is not something you should be doing. Look out, brother, because like I said, there's lots of hotel chains out there. Just because you own a lot of them, we could flatten them real quick if we wanted to. We just stop going to them. I can't believe I have to talk about this crap, but it's ridiculous when companies are doing this kind of garbage now. Trying to stop us from doing immigration enforcement is ridiculous as a company, and I'm really getting sick of it. I think all these people that are for this stuff, you need to start letting all the people live in your house as well. All right? And you should not go into lines. You should always let everyone budge you. Okay? If you're for this crap, I'm like, you got to get involved with it. I want you having 10 immigrants living in your house with you. I don't want you ever to go first in the line. I want you to wait for 20 immigrants ahead of you and then go maybe. If you really got to start practicing what you preach, people. And I know you won't because you don't. The only reason you're this way is because of Trump. If this was a Biden, if this was Harris doing this, you'd be all gung-ho for it. Only reason is because it's Trump. I guarantee it. That's how you guys are. You guys are like people on a bandwagon with a team that's winning. And that's what you guys are. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. And as soon as it switches, oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. But you don't have anything to really base it on. You guys are nutso, freakos. Bam. I know I'm going off today, but I have to listen to this all day long. Idiots talking to me, thinking they know what they're talking about, and it's like you don't. So then I come on here to pontificate away about what is the truth, It's like Biden wanted this to be done. He wanted someone else to do it, though. He didn't want to actually have to do it. He didn't like getting his hands dirty, He didn't want to do anything. He just walked the fence. Never upset anybody. That's what I do. I'm Joe Biden. Actually, you pissed off everybody more than anything. Everybody's upset now, even though Trump talks to them more than Biden ever did. Trump has done more press conferences, more things than Biden did ever in his probably entire thing being in the legislation. If you go back his whole career, Trump's already beat him in minutes on TV. There's no way he comes close. Even with all his Senate years and his vice presidency, he was nothing, okay? He can't even get money for his library, It's a joke. And you guys want to keep talking about Trump and say, oh, Trump is losing his smarts when you had Biden there looking like an idiot. I'm not going to listen to you guys anymore when you sound stupid talking about that stuff. When you had a person that was incompetent and you said you didn't notice it. So now when you say anything about Trump, I'm blowing it off because I don't buy what you say. You have destroyed your credibility with Kat, and I'm not going to come back to your side. You're done. You're done with me. I don't listen to you anymore. You're idiots. You're the boy who called wolf. Once you do that so many times, at a certain point, I don't listen to you anymore. I'm done with you. Kat doesn't do that. I don't lie. If I make a mistake, I'm going to make a correction about it and make sure everyone knows about it. That's where I'm at. But usually I don't make mistakes because I'm pontificating about what I know about. And my points are logical based on Spock reasoning. That's why people don't like it, because it has nothing to do with how you feel. It has to do with logic, what makes sense. You know, people that are complaining about the White House edition, it's going to be logical. What do you want to do? Have them exit the White House and then go into another building instead of just having it all connected? That's why we had the demolition, so it can all be one part connected. Makes no sense. You know, the ugliest things you see are when they add something and they don't connect it, and you have to walk. It's stupid. Stupid. Again, I destroy your arguments. Oh, it's destroying. Oh, it's this. But then I bring up the portobello porch, and everybody's like, oh, the portobello porch is great. They love the portobello porch. Well, then why is that good and this thing bad? Because Trump's doing it. Because Trump's doing it. That's why it's bad. Trump, 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 Trump. Satan, 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 Satan. That's you guys are crazy. Your subliminal messages don't work on Cat, okay? They just don't. My Jedi mind is too strong for you. And they're not, on anybody that has a brain, they don't work. All you're going to convince are people that are already on your choir, okay? People that already believe you're garbage, okay? Those people, they're a lost cause. They're like people that have drank the Kool-Aid. There ain't no saving them. Why do you even try then? I don't know. I don't. I'm preaching to people that actually have brains out here, that actually have a mind, that think for themselves, that don't just have to listen to what people say, but they can find out things for themselves. That's who I'm talking to. I don't need to talk to people that are zombies. Brain, Trump bad. That's what you guys are now. Maybe I'll call you zombies instead of Kool-Aid drinkers. You're just out to get anything you can. It's all about brain, which is Trump. Nothing else matters to you. Hate Trump, hate brain, eat brain, hate Trump. You know, that's what it is with you guys. What are you going to do when Trump's gone? Is it going to be then Vance? And then when Vance is gone, it's going to be Rubio? I mean, it's just whoever we have is going to be the problem. You know, it's not our ideas, but who the person is. You never complain about our ideas, just the person. Because you can't fight our ideas, because our ideas make a lot of sense. They make perfect sense, actually. We're going to stop bringing these drugs in that are killing people, okay? Because we can't get the druggies to stop doing the drugs, okay? So the point is, you want to do those drugs, go down there to their country and do those drugs. They don't want you doing them down there, though. They don't want to mess up their society. They just want to mess up our society and make a lot of money off of it. And kill our family members and our friends. And you guys are all okay with it. All you people that are against what we did, you're okay with people dying from these drugs. That's what it is. You'd rather people die from drugs, apparently, than get a dictator out of power. Is that it? I really don't understand your logic. I wish you guys would tell me. What is your logic behind liking this dictator? Well, it was a sovereign country. So what? People, our country is sovereign, and they're bringing these drugs in, killing people all day long. I don't understand. Why can they bring in drugs and kill our people, but we can't get the guy that's responsible for it? It's rhetorical. I know you can't answer it, can you? Right? There is no answer for it. I blow people away with my arguments. I'm tired of people dying, okay? They've made drugs now, okay, that look like a pill from a pharmacy, but they put fentanyl in it. A person may want Adderall to stay awake, or a Xanax because they're worked up over something, and they'll get it and actually have some fentanyl in it, and they die. When all they wanted was a prescription pill, you know? And instead of the druggies just doing like they should and just selling the real drugs, they just put something in it to kill you. They're killing off their clientele, and everyone here is okay with it. I'm not. Thank God I was a kid when I was. Because nowadays, you know, you don't do drugs. You just don't do them. You could end up dead because of what they're doing. And apparently nobody's worried about that except for Cat and Trump. Big breath there. I don't like to get so worked up. But I don't know why other people don't get worked up. We have people, hundreds of thousands of people dying a year from drug overdose or drug-related stuff, okay? And that adds up to more people than probably died in every war since the beginning of time. If we go back since we've been fighting this war on drugs for about 50 years. We have not won this war on drugs. We haven't won one battle yet, except till now. By decreasing the drugs coming in over the ocean, that's about the first time we've done anything against the war on drugs. Seriously. It's been a miserable failure ever since I've been a child. All right? I can go back to DARE and tell you it was a miserable failure. Drug awareness resistance education did not work. Tell you right now, it was a joke when we were in school. We laughed about it. All right? I remember our DARE officer, Dawn Rader, telling us that when she drank, they had to drink to figure out when someone was too drunk. And she said she was too drunk before she was at the too drunk level. Because it used to be 0.1 instead of 0.08. And she was too drunk by then. And I brought up the fact, well, that's because different people get drunk at different times. But she said, yeah, but we have to have a number. So we probably need to lower that number. And they did. But again, that's just an arbitrary number that they set, So they go on the lowest person that gets too drunk, and that's the number they set. That's not fair. That told me right there that a lot of this stuff doesn't even make sense that they set in place. When she told me that. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, it's not fair. But they have to set a number, so that way it's universal. And they set it to the lowest number, which is, again, going to get anybody then, whether they're too drunk to drive or not. I'm not for driving drunk. Definitely not. But I see a lot of times where things are done wrong. Why don't they just make it no drinking? They should just make it no drinking. Apparently in Europe you can't drink at all. Why don't they do that? Because that'll hurt bars. That'll hurt the alcohol industry. They don't want to do that. So they allow people to drink a little bit. Again, if they really cared about people's lives, they wouldn't do that. That, again, is me just going by logic. Okay? But it has to do with money. That's why it's not like that. So it's a game of play, with these people. And nowadays, you don't want to play with drugs. That's what it comes down to. Because if you do, you die. You play with drugs, you can die. And it's sad, Not that I want people to be druggies, but I know that everyone experiments, and at a young age you're not as educated, and you don't want people to just die because they're young and foolish, because we all were at one point. So you have to get past that stage to learn from it, and you can't get past it if they kill you. That's what it comes down to. So Maduro was a bad dude. If you guys want to keep defending this guy, go for it. But I'm very happy with what Trump did. When you keep doing the same thing without getting the same results, that's the definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein. And that's what we've been doing for years. We've been, trying to take the boats and arrest the people, and it doesn't stop anything. But apparently when we just blow them up, it's getting harder and harder for them to get people that want to even get on the boat, because they're going to die, and they pretty much know it. So there are less boats coming up because of that. And they're not making their money off their drugs. When we took their oil, they're not making their money off the oil. We tried to make him just leave, and he didn't. So what were we to do but come and get him? We gave him the opportunity to leave. He didn't want to. We tried to starve him with money. He kept fighting it. So we finally came and got him. And like Trump said, the guy Maduro wishes he took the deal now, because it's now he's going away. So this is a good podcast, I think. I've had a good podcast here. A lot to say about this. I'm sure we'll get comments, maybe, people interested. Sorry if I get too worked up. You know how I am when I get fired up into my catcast. I'm really out there fired up and letting it go. But I'm passionate because I know what I'm talking about, and I believe in what is being done. This is a helpful thing for our country, for the whole hemisphere, and for the world. Because if you don't think this shows a message to other people that we ain't messing around anymore, it does. Now, we may take out Colombia's cocaine factories. We may just bomb them. Just poof, 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 poof. We don't have to take that guy out. We can just take out his factories, if he wants to keep being his big mouth down in Colombia. But I'm for whatever Trump does anymore. Like I said, they're trying to kill our people. It's not just trying to make a living anymore. They're trying to kill off our people with this drug that they're making. It kills. Microscopic amounts kills. They're trying to kill our people. So we're not going to allow it. It's an invasion with drugs. I don't know why people don't seem to understand. Just because it's not people, it's still an invasion, and it's still taking out people. Okay? And we have to help the druggies because they can't help themselves. So we'll make it harder and harder on them to get the drugs, as hard as we can make it. And if they really want them, they're going to have to go south to get them. That's my opinion on it. I'm not one for fighting anybody against what they want. If you want your drugs, go get them down there where they make them. And those people should be fine with you living down there in their society and doing the drugs. I don't know where you're going to get your money from, but figure it out. Because we're not going to keep supplying it to you. I know most of the people up here that are taking the drugs are probably on some kind of welfare, because I don't know where they get their money from. I'm sure it's from us, though. So I'd like them to just get out of the country, find another way to get their drugs, and just let it go, Like I said, we don't need any more zombies walking around. We got enough democratic zombies. We don't need any drug zombies here. And that's what the drug does now. They're lean, they're hungover, they look, it hurts my back just looking at them hanging there, like they're half dead, but they're still alive, just hanging there. I'm like, I don't know what got them into this point in their life, but we're not helping them by letting them continue this intoxicating behavior that just basically makes them look like they're totally out of it. I understand being depressed, but drugs like that is not the way out. That's just a deeper hole for you to get into. I guess I care too much. That's my problem. I guess a lot of people just don't care about their fellow man, and I guess I do. And I want to help them. Even if they don't want help, you want to help people. And sometimes you got to use tough love. And, that's what it comes down to, I think. They want to do their drugs. I don't want them to do drugs. I'd rather they find another way to block that pain. Find something that they actually enjoy doing. Anything than that would be the solution in Kat's mind. It's tough to talk about, when this is really about people that are miserable. That's why they're doing these drugs. But it makes other people miserable as well. It ruins families, kills people. It's not a good way. It's like suicide, basically, but a slow suicide, these drugs. And your parents have to see this awful stuff. And then look at what happened to Rob Reiner, His kid goes crazy. It kills the dad and mom. I mean, it's destructive, this stuff. It wasn't like when I was a kid. It's very dangerous now. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm glad I was a kid when I was. I was able to have a paper route and make money. I had a job, and you can't have paper routes anymore. You can't make money as a kid. All the entry-level jobs are being taken up by people that never want to move on from an entry-level job. It's... we're running out of time. I filled up this cat cast like nothing, baby. Like nothing. Man, I was yelling away, but Kitty never does anything but sleep back here. Can you believe that? Just a sleeping away. All right, I'm glad to have you guys here again. I wore my new Hawaii shirt from my mom. Forgot to mention that. It's Hawaii University, Chaba Cha. And I have another one I'll probably wear tomorrow. Souvenirs that she got me from her Hawaii trip. So glad to show that. And I'm glad to have you guys here again. It was a great podcast. And trying to end the show right on 30. I've been trying to end it right on the 30 if I can. So to make it just, I like the 3000. Last time I was off by 1 second. So I think I have to click it off a second before it actually clicks over to make it happen. But anyways, Chaba Cha, it's been a great time. Please come again tomorrow for another excellent podcast. It will be right here with your friend Kat Kennison, right here at the CatCast. All right, Chaba Cha. Bye now.